Hello everyone, and welcome back to this amazing series webinar on navigating my aged care. I'd like to thank you for joining us today. Your time is so precious, as is your questions. So today, don't forget, we've got lots of Q&A. This particular webinar series is brought to you by OPAN, the Older Persons Advocacy Network, and I'm Marie Montgomery, your host. I have some amazing panellists here today, and we're going to introduce them shortly. We'll just do the usual housekeeping. So up in the right-hand corner, you'll find your Q&A button. Please get on board and fire some questions at us. The ladies here are ready and waiting to answer your questions. And also join the Facebook group. So on the Facebook group, you'll see on the left-hand side groups, and if you go into Navigate, you can join and they can have some great conversations, some constructive conversations around navigating my aged care and some of the nuances or some of the concerns that you may have. It always helps to chat with other people. Yeah, so thank you for that. On our journey board today, we're still in step 4. Step 4 is a very big component of the journey, and we've actually done 15 webinars now. So yeah, it's good. We're coming to you live from Wangaratta, Gateway Health. So thanks to the amazing people at Gateway Health. This is a fantastic community organisation. It's quite powerful, lots of innovative ideas. And thanks, Cam, I know you're watching out there, for assisting us today. All right, let's come across now to the lovely ladies here. So I have Emma Williamson, and Emma is a Community Services Program Manager at Shepparton Villages. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me today.
It's a pleasure. And then the lovely Kate Wilson down the end, who got married recently. So that's so fantastic. Kate is the Transitional Aged Care Services Manager, is it? Coordinator at Corowa Health, which is part of Murrumbidgee Local Health District. So again, thank you for, I don't think you cut the honeymoon short, but thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
That's a pleasure. So today we're going to cover, both in webinar, the first part and second part of today, short-term care. And short-term care provides care and support services for a set period of time. And it's really, I guess, nuanced at making sure that we maintain or bring back the level of independence that you were before you had either a hospital stay or some form of change in your lifestyle. So it's a really interesting type of aged care services, and I guess not everywhere in Australia, is it?
No.
It's only in certain areas, and I think I'm very lucky to have ladies here that are very experienced in it, so thank you. So I'm going to ask you both. So Emma, tell us a bit about yourself, and I guess why are you so passionate, and you are, about aged care services?
So I'm a nurse, registered nurse by background, and I've been working in the aged care sector for the last 10 years, but previously had worked in residential aged care facilities. I'm currently the Community Services Program Manager at Shepparton Villages, and delivering short-term restorative care and home care packages. I'm passionate because our older people in the community have so much to offer, and I want to be able to keep people at home for as long as I possibly can. Home, there's no place like home.
Yeah.
And, being able to have the privilege of entering someone's home, providing services and keeping them there for as long as possible is just so rewarding.
Yeah. And watching them, I guess, return home or stay home is doubly rewarding, isn't it? Yeah. Excellent. Thank you. Okay, so Kate, tell us a little bit about your background and what brings you here today and your passion for aged care services.
I have worked within the medical industry with doctors and in the hospital for the last, would be 6 years. Love every minute of it. I have always had a great passion for the elderly. I think we're so blessed to have them around us.
Yes.
to listen to their stories. Their wisdom is just amazing. And we also need to always remember to respect the elderly. They've been through a lot, and they can teach us a huge amount. So empowering them to stand up and ask questions. It was something that wasn't done once upon a time, but there's so many choices now, and a lot of people still are a little bit afraid to ask questions, a bit intimidated, which we totally understand. But the most beautiful part about my job is offering people the opportunity to learn what is out there, to be able to keep them at home.
Yeah, and that's why I love doing this job as well. I mean, just if we can empower, one person per webinar to shop around, look at services, have a choice, have a voice, and make those decisions about your ageing, I think that's very powerful. So,
Definitely.
Let's go, ladies. Excellent. Oh, so do apologise for that, Tom. Don't forget your Q&A. Okay, so again, we're looking at short-term care today, and as always, our advice at OPAN is to talk to your loved ones, your family members, and shop around in your region across Australia, the providers in your area, and look at My Aged Care website and have a little think about how you want to age. Yeah, absolutely. I'm totally sorted. So, all right, let's get into the nuts and bolts of today. So let's look at first short-term restorative care. So I'm going to go to yourself. So what is short-term restorative care?
So short-term restorative care is an 8-week program. It's multidisciplinary focused, so we involve a team of your GP and then some allied health professionals such as a physiotherapist or an occupational therapist. We have a minimum of 2 that need to be part of the team.
Okay, that's good.
And we then, so it's goal orientated, so we work with you to achieve the goals that you want to achieve. And that might be something like improving your endurance to walk to the letterbox, or being able to hang the washing out. So looking at, some equipment that might assist you in that. So yes, it's an 8-week program. It's quite intensive, and it can be delivered either in your own home or within a residential care facility. And as you have said, the important thing is to look on the My Aged Care website to find out what provider is offering the program, but also who delivers it in the community or who delivers it across both the community and residential facility.
Okay.
So for my program at Shepparton Villages, we only deliver it in the client's home. We don't have a residential capacity. So you really do need to look and find out where that program will be delivered.
Okay, yeah. And if you find that provider tool, it's across My Aged Care website. It's highlighted throughout many different types of care, but you can just search up in the top search area and put in the provider tool, and you can find your providers, and you can click on 3 and you can compare them. So it's quite good. Yeah, excellent. So let's go again. So to really dig down into it, what actual help is available within this particular package? And is it right to call it a package?
It is a package.
Okay.
It is funded by the Commonwealth. So we get a subsidy, or the provider gets a subsidy each day for the time that you're on the program. And we need to work with you to determine what you need. So as I've mentioned, it's got the multidisciplinary team focus, but then we can put in domestic services, personal care, transport, shopping assistance, social support, well-being, clinical care, from nursing care if that's what's required. So the list is varied, and it just depends on what you're needing within your package as to how much else we can put into it. So it might be that we can put some rails in. It might be that we can put a small ramp in, to enable you to access your home in a safer manner. It might be, supporting you to get back into the activities that you used to do, and for whatever reason has caused your step back, we try to bring you so that you can then independently continue on.
Great. It's fantastic.
Can I just add
absolutely.
in there? That's one of the best things about these programs, is that often when people have had an illness or a hip replacement, whatever the case may have been, the confidence is gone. And it really, whether you be young or older, it's not easy to walk into a room of people when you haven't been there. So we do help, and sometimes we will actually go on in that first instance. We've just had a lovely lady on our program, and she loved bingo, loved it, but she's been out of action for quite a while. So that was her goal.
Great.
And when we took her to bingo, everyone was so delighted that she was back. So lots of great things like that happen.
And I agree, that social aspect is so important.
Huge. Definitely. And, I had a gentleman that had stopped going across the road to have dinner with his neighbours and stopped going to his Lions group. And through the support that we were able to put in, he was back doing that. And the reward for us as clinicians or coordinators is so amazing to see someone back doing what they want to do.
I agree. So rewarding. Okay, so we're getting our first question. Okay, it's from Dorothy. How does short-term restorative care interact with home care packages? Can you top up HCP with some of these options? So Dorothy, just give us 5. We're going to be talking a little bit more about that when we look at the criteria. So we might move on to the next question I've got. So whilst we looked at what help is available, from the website, there's a huge amount of help available.
Definitely.
We've got physio, occupational therapy, podiatry, psychologists and counsellors. That's amazing, isn't it?
And it's that real, for short-term restorative care, it is that real focus of a team. I've got someone at the moment that's got physio OT, diabetes educator, dietitian, podiatrist, all working together to get the best outcomes and maximising the time within that 8-week period to ensure that the client is well set up to move forward.
Coordinated approach, it's fantastic, isn't it? Because I know just ringing around when you have some concerns, sometimes that can take forever. And so that's fantastic. So where is it provided? I think we've sort of covered that. You've got to ring around and shop around and have a look on the My Aged Care website at the provider tool and look in your area. Would that be right? Yes.
The other thing I would say is that if you are in hospital, ask some questions, or if you're not confident in asking, ask a family member or speak to the nurses and the doctors and you say, I am not confident in going home. I feel I need some help, and how can you help me? That is our job, to help. And there is so many wonderful things out there that nobody should leave hospital without, absolutely.
And I'll just add, and we will go into the eligibility for this program, but short-term restorative care does have some specific eligibility, and one of those requirements is that unfortunately you can't be in hospital to access this program. So we'll obviously cover that in a bit more detail.
All right, so let's just say we can receive short-term restorative care for periods up to 8 weeks, twice in a 12-month period. All right, so now let's look at eligibility, because I think that's where we need to look at. So you may be eligible for short-term restorative care if you're an older person who wants to stay independent, out of long-term ongoing care, but you need a couple of other little bits and pieces. So what are those sort of bits and pieces there?
So you do have to have an approval from the aged care assessment team.
Yes, okay, so it's the ACAT team.
Yes, so you need to be registered with My Aged Care.
Okay.
So you can't be, as I mentioned, you can't have been in hospital for 3 months prior to approval for this program. You answering Dorothy's question, you can't actually be on a home care package either, on short-term restorative
Yeah.
care, but you can be receiving the entry-level support of Commonwealth Home Support. So you can be getting, someone coming once a fortnight to do your domestic, as long as you are not on a home care package.
Yeah.
And it's then got
some other nuances.
Some other specific criteria. So you can't have had transitional care in the 6 months prior. So you do need to check on the My Aged Care website regarding the eligibility. And obviously when the ACAT team are coming out to do your assessment, if they think this program might be suitable for you, they will certainly be looking at approving you for this program.
Beautiful. Lovely. Thank you. All right. And I will also say you can still access the program if you are receiving veteran services as well.
That's good.
And on that note, I didn't mention it earlier, we're not going to be discussing veteran services today. Sadly, we couldn't have a representative with us. However, on a brighter note, we will be doing specific dedicated DVA webinars in the future. So very much needed, I think, and excited about that. So good, excellent. So let's get back. There is another question here from Kim, and Kim says, I still have an issue for someone who has an aged care assessment and cannot get a CHSP locally, and a HCP allocation will be 18-month wait. Can short-term care assist?
So it is up to the aged care assessment team to give the approval, as long as the person has met the criteria. I would go back to your local aged care assessment team or back through the My Aged Care telephone number or through the portal to get a reassessment done for short-term restorative care.
Yeah, good. So there are quite a few different terms. So we're specifically just now talking short-term restorative. We're moving into transitional very shortly. And then this afternoon or the next webinar, we're going to be talking about the different types of respite care. They all come under the banner of short-term care and have their own little criteria. So I think that's the main thing we want to get across today, is that there are different little packages, and they're different from home care packages and CHSP, and they're not full residential aged care either. They're in between with set time frames to get you back on your track. Yeah, great. Good. So in regards to how much will it cost?
So once again, you need to discuss this with the provider that you find to deliver the program under short-term restorative care. But it's approximately $10.50 a day. So you pay that each day that you are on the program over the 8 weeks. Obviously that some providers will negotiate that, and a lot of providers will work to ensure that people aren't financially disadvantaged, because ultimately we're wanting to provide the care.
Yeah, and keep you at home. Excellent, beautiful. So that is short-term restorative care. Let's move now over to transitional care. And this is where Kate comes in, and your background is obviously transitional care. So how is it different? What is it in a nutshell?
Well, I probably confused everyone before, sorry, because transitional care is from hospital to home, whereas Emma's is different. So we find everyone that comes into the ward, if they meet the criteria and they want to go home, it's a choice. I always say to all of my clients, you're the driver. So it's all about what you want. It is about goal setting. It's not just about going home and everything coming and people doing things for you. It's a slow stream rehabilitation. So the aim is set from the beginning. We like 3 goals. I'll give you an example. I have a marvellous lady who's about to go home on transitional care. She's 90, fiercely independent, beautiful lady. And I said to her, so if you had to tell me 3 goals, what would they be? Oh, easy. To drive, to get back to doing my craft, most amazing craft, and to play mahjong. So there you go. She's set. So she's unfortunately fallen and broken her left arm.
Which is sadly a very true picture.
Oh, and as she said, it just happened like that. She didn't do anything wrong. She wasn't out in the garden getting caught up on a hose. She just literally fell down, which can happen to anyone.
Yep.
So now the aged care assessment team will come and assess this lady. She has fitted all ticked everything. She's appropriate to go home on the program. So transitional care goes for 12 weeks. It can be up to 12 weeks.
Okay.
You are the driver. So if 6 weeks down the track you feel that you're back to where you were and you've had enough, that's fine. So as we go through the program, we might start out with domestic care might, come twice a week, personal care might come 3 times a week. As people become confident and feel that they can shower themselves again, then we might drop a day, we'll drop things back.
Excellent.
As in doing the shopping, they may decide after 6 weeks they're going really well, they can do it on their own. We lessen that again. So initially we have an occupational therapist go out and assess the home prior to leaving hospital with the patient.
Yep.
So we work out what can be done to make life much easier.
Yeah.
And there's so many things, as in shower stools,
yes.
over toilet seats. One of my pet things is, why do we all have toilets that are so low?
I don't know.
I'm sure everybody out there listening will agree. It's only as you get older you do think, why is that so low?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So help with cooking, domestic, personal. Physiotherapy comes each week. We have a lovely allied health assistant who also goes out each week for exercising, or I like to call it gentle relaxation.
Okay.
We like to go for walks and talks.
Good.
So each of my clients I see each week, we walk and talk. Yes, I had one dear gentleman who absolutely detested walking, but by the end of the 12 weeks, he still now walks every day.
Now that's a goal.
It
That's
is,
fantastic.
yeah. So basically we set the program. It's all about rehabilitation, about getting back to where you were before, feeling confident, help in what you need, and the outcomes are just amazing.
Good.
I can't even begin to tell you how good they are.
Yeah. You had something to add?
And I think the important thing with these programs is that we're not setting people up to fail.
Yeah.
No.
We're not putting in all these services to then at the end of the 8 weeks or the 12 weeks go, okay, you're on your own now.
Yeah.
We try to as our clients progress, withdraw
Enable.
some of the services and then at the end discharge onto appropriate services in their area.
Oh, absolutely. Because a lot of my clients have been so independent that they've never had anyone come and help do those hard things. Even at my age, cleaning showers and vacuuming, things like that, they're not fun, really.
No.
So
No, they're not.
I always say to people towards the end, if you don't want to do it, we're quite happy you can continue on when we set all of those services up.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And that enablement, re-ablement,
Yeah.
independence focus. We don't want to take away independence.
Oh,
We don't want to do the
no.
things that you can actually do.
Yeah.
And I've found that with transitional care and restorative care, it opens people's eyes to so many wonderful things that are out there, as in engaging men in the men's shed, men's groups, bowling, indoor, outdoor, all the activities that happen within our wonderful towns that so many people don't realise are even there.
Yeah.
Or that they are eligible to utilise some of those services. I agree. I think this webinar as well has helped people acknowledge that, wow, there are so many services that actually I am eligible for. And it's not a bad thing, it's an enabling and empowering thing, and actually quite fun.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Fantastic. So transitional care, again, to just be very clear, is specialised care and support that helps you move safely from a hospital back to everyday life, avoiding the need for longer term care and support, and re-enabling yourself to maintain independence.
Absolutely.
Great.
Yes.
All right, so how does it work? I think we've sort of looked at that. So your physio would come to the person in the hospital, is that correct, and go out?
Yes, physios go out to the home each week, because often after something has happened, that getting home, the physio needs to be within the home to see how you operate. Like a kitchen's a kitchen until you have broken an arm, and everything becomes
difficult.
A little bit. So if you can have someone and the OTs with all of that incredible knowledge, like occupational therapists, what I've learned from them is amazing.
Yeah.
Do you know, there's
very specialised and don't get enough acknowledgement as well.
Not. Even things like, you have a shower. If you have a broken arm or you can't bend anymore, how do you dry in between your toes? There's an actual thing that is the length of your leg. It dries in between your toes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, there's so many things out there.
The aids and equipment that are out there now are just amazing.
Yeah. Oh, it's mind-blowing. Yeah.
Oh, great. All right, so the care is provided in your home?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Good.
There is residential with transitional care. So what we do find where I am in Corowa, if people are not well enough to initially go home, we will often refer them to what we call the Healthy Ageing Unit, which is a transitional care in-house respite in Albury. So they may be there for 6 weeks and then they will come home on transitional care in the home. So it just depends on what's happened to the person, what the needs are. We work it from there.
Beautiful. Excellent. I love it. So consumer focused.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so we've got a question here from Stephen. Thanks, Stephen. Just a bit unclear. Can you continue receiving these services? And I'm not sure what these services would be, Stephen. So can you continue receiving the services after the 12 weeks are up, and if you feel like you need them?
At the end of the 12 weeks, Stephen, if you haven't reached your goals, or sometimes there are setbacks along the way, that happens. We can apply to My Aged Care, which is something that the coordinator does. We apply for an extension, which can be another 6 weeks. Which is just brilliant. And I have done that a few times, and we have actually got people to where they want to be. But we don't just leave you, as Emma said, at the end of the program. We make sure that things are set so that your life continues. And we also do stay in touch.
Absolutely. I bet the gentleman that you had walking, I'm sure you must see him around or, keep in touch, because it's such a rewarding thing. Yeah. Excellent. So we've just discussed how long the program is. What about, again, how much will it cost me? Now, I just want to say everything that we talk about is on the My Aged Care website. If you look up short-term care, all of the things today is these questions, this information is directly from there. So you can always find that as well. Back to how much will it cost?
The costing for transitional aged care in the home is about $10.50 a day, which is very good when you consider what you are receiving. If you're having personal care, domestic care, shopping, transport, physios, OTs, podiatry, it's quite huge what you actually get. We are very fortunate. I always say to people, we live in the luckiest country in the world.
We do.
Everything is negotiable. We're not going to have people go home without receiving care if they can't afford it. So there's no need for anyone to ever be embarrassed. Life deals everyone a different card.
Yes.
And if you can't afford something, just say. And sometimes, well, all the time things are worked out, I should say.
Providers are very approachable, and it's having that voice to actually discuss that with your coordinator at the time.
And I think that voice with empowerment comes from doing your research and shopping around. I highly acknowledge and what's the word I'm looking for? Feel that shopping around and getting to know the My Aged Care website and what ageing services are out there will aid you far more positively than just waiting for the event to occur.
May I just add? With transitional care, it can be a little bit confusing in the sense if somebody goes to a hospital in a major city, they're from the country, and discharging wise dependent on the hospital, things don't always pan out as we wish. And that's where having a voice is wonderful, and doing your research before you go. If I know that someone is going to Melbourne for heart surgery,
cardiac stents.
yes, whatever the case may be, I will say to them or their family, please ask the discharge planner if you can come home on transitional care, if that's appropriate. So they do transition from Melbourne. They may go straight back to their home in the country, and we will, between us, have coordinated everything before they even get home.
Wonderful. What a service, hey?
It is great.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, a lot of people aren't aware of that.
Yeah.
And sometimes will be discharged home. So ask the questions, speak to your doctor, speak to the discharge planner.
Yeah.
No question's a bad question.
No, absolutely not. Excellent. Good. So we are coming towards the end of this particular webinar series. I think, did I just get a... No. It wasn't a proper question. All right. So again, what if I already receive aged care services? So if we've got transitional care, what if I already receive CHSP or a home package?
That's fine.
There's no problem.
I just speak to the coordinators, the providers, I should say. So the providers then put what you normally receive on hold for the duration of the transitional care, and then we just take over that. So it's just one payment then, which is made. So you're not paying for what you would normally receive from the provider.
Okay.
Yeah, whereas whoever's providing the service of transitional care, the financial side of that is taken over for that period of time.
That's fantastic. Excellent. Well, again, thank you so much for your time, ladies, and your expertise. It's been wonderful, and it really clarifies, I think, transitional and short-term restorative care. Thank you so much, and we'll be back shortly in webinar 2. Just want to say it's World Koala Week this week. Go the koalas. All right, take care, everybody. See you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.